Okay, we're doing a couple practice problems for the final. We're starting off with a probability one here. This one's a Venn diagram, and I have made this up from the kids in my class. So most people they had a younger sibling and they knew where there was a pencil sharpener in their house. Here is how the question would look on the final. This is a tougher one, so pay attention. What's the probability, given that I'm going to choose somebody who has a younger sibling, that they do not have a pencil sharpener? Given that I'm only going to choose from people who have a younger sibling, what's the probability that I will find somebody who does not have a pencil sharpener? It's a fraction. Would you write the fraction down and billboard it my way? Don't make it a decimal, please. It's just harder to read. All right. So far, the first three answers I saw were all different, so that's interesting. All right. I'm getting four answers that are different now. Okay. So here's what it should have been. Do you agree that if I said I was only going to pick from the younger sibling group, that it has to be out of 15? All right. And I got a huge variety of answers after that, though. I said, what's the probability that they would not have a pencil sharpener? So it's not these people. Well, you're left with only one choice, and it's that, because it's the only thing that's possible. You cannot use that number. You can't use that number. You can only use these two numbers. So it's 1 out of 15. Raise your hand if you had that one right. Okay, good. Other common answers were 1 out of 14, but again, there's a total of 15 there. So, all right, moving on from the probability, that kind of probability, to let's take a CC over C question. This is anytime you have a big group divided up into smaller groups. Like, for instance, in this room, we have a group of, let me see how many kids, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24, 26. There's 26 kids in here. And if I take that group and divide it up into boys and girls, let's see how many boys and girls we have. One year I made a tragic mistake. 1, 2, 3. It was a long time ago. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It was like seriously on the first day of school. And I just couldn't tell. All right. But why do you guess at that point? I was just stupid. All right. So 10 and 6. But what are you going to do? Ask? Yeah, and then serious, I'm not going to say the name, but the name was neutral. It was like you can't tell, you know, yeah, okay. Well, that's usually, isn't Cameron a boy's name? Casey's one, yeah. Chris is another one. There's a lot of those names. Anyway, okay. So I've got a total of 26 in here, 10 or 16 boys, 10 girls, and here's my question. If I were to pick a group of 5 of you randomly, what's the probability that I will get 5 boys and 1 girl? Sorry. 5 people choosing. I'm choosing 5. I mean 4 boys. I better write this down. Pick 5, and I want 4 boys, 1 girl. Otherwise, that other one was impossible. What's the probability? Now, this is a CC over C, and I told you that, but how are you going to know that? You're going to know because it's a big group that's subdivided into subsets. Anytime that you have that situation, pretty much always is a CC over C. So that could be, I've seen this problem written with like senators. There's 10 senators from this state and 16 representatives, and the total is 26, and then it's subdivided into senators and representatives instead of subdivided into boys and girls. Or it could be clubs, hearts, spades, diamonds. That's subdividing. All right, you should have said CC over C. And is it always 2 C's on top? No, sometimes there's 3 C's on top. So it's divided into 3 parts. All right, and this is how many boys? This is going to be girls, and the boys is 16, and the girls is 10. All that making sense to you so far? And the total is out of 26 possible, and I'm choosing 5. And then it's just down to how many boys? 4. How many girls? 1. There you go. That's the CC over C that you'd want to set up. Any questions about that one? All right. Next on the hard kinds of probability list is an expected value, where we're going to play a dice game that you could see potentially in Las Vegas for the high rollers. And it would be threes wild. It's roll a die. If you get a 3, you get $300. Okay, so you might get a 3, in which case you'd get $300. All right, but if you get any other even number, you have to pay $100. And if you get any odd number other than 3, evens, you lose. How much did I say lose? 100. And if you get any other odd number besides 3, you're only going to win $50. Now, last thing, it costs money to play this game. It costs $25 to play. So now my question is, who knows the formula to figure these out? I've repeated it over and over and over, and it starts with a P. No, order patterns is not the one I'm talking about. Starts with a P. All right. You need to know this. I've repeated it for you so many times, I thought by now you'd have got it stuck in your head. P times A, and then add. You always take the probability times the amount you're going to get, and then add. For any expected value problem, it'll always be like this. You will always take the probability of it times the amount you're going to get if it happens, and then you will add them all up. All right, what's the probability of an even number? Out of 6 things on the die, how many are even?
0.5.
How about this? 2, 4, and 6 are all even, right? Okay, so that's 3 out of 6, which is also known as 0.5. 3 out of 6, 6, not 5. 3 out of 6 chance, so 0.5. So then you times that by the 100, actually negative 100, and you get negative 50. All right. This 3, what's the probability of getting the 3? 1 out of 6. And that's worth 1/6 times 300. I believe that comes out to $50 exactly. I wouldn't have thought it would because it's got an odd number in it like that, but I'm pretty sure it's 50. All right, good. Okay, and then the last one is any odd number. Well, remember this, you can't do all the odds because one of them is 3, right? So then it's not 3 out of 6, it's going to be what? 2 out of 6 chance of this. So 2 out of 6 chance of that times the 50 is how much? 16.6 repeating, thank you. So what's this game worth? Notice I haven't figured in my $25 yet. I'm going to figure out how much it's worth first, and then I'll see if the $25 will matter. Exactly, because the negative 50 and the positive 50 cancel, so it's worth $16.67 to play. They charge you the fair amount? No, they charge you $25 to play. So when you subtract those two, you get a negative number. Why? Because on average, you will do what? You will lose, and that's like any other casino game in the world. On average, you're going to lose. Does that mean you lose every time? No, otherwise people wouldn't play. So, all right, net, what's the final answer here? All right, on average you lose $8.33. Okay, any questions? All right, that's P times A, then add. You need to use that also if you were going to do a warranty question. I know that those are one that get asked a lot, so I'm going to ask you to try one more warranty question. All right, let's say that when they sell this chair at Office Max, they're going to offer you the warranty on it. And like, because sometimes the wheels stop rolling, or maybe the seat could get damaged or whatever. So they'll offer you a warranty for $8. Well, a chair costs $100. If a chair costs $100 and there's only a 1 in 50 chairs are defective. Guess what formula I'm going to go with again? P times A, and then what? Then F. All right, so the probability of it working, probability of it breaking, I told you that. How much are you going to get if it works? Nothing. How much are you going to get if it breaks? You get all your money back, $100. And then the cost of the warranty was only $8. I would wait till the end to do that, because it's a lot simpler to do it at the end instead of trying to mix it in up in here and here. All right. So the 0 times, well, you know what? It doesn't even matter what the probability is, because 0 times anything is 0. I'm going to save time and not even calculate that. The breaking probability, what was that? What did I tell you? 1 out of 50. So then 1 out of 50 times 100 is $2. So what's this warranty really worth? $2. You have to pay $8 for it. It seemed cheap, but actually it's expensive. They're going to make money on you. It's okay. Stores make a profit. That's what they're supposed to do. Minus $8, negative 6 is what your expected value is. How many of you had that right? Okay, good. Next kind of question. If you're going to do one of those functions problems, here's a whole category of problem that I want to make sure you know. I'm going to put up a graph. Going to go to there. And if I want to, I'll put a spot here, and a spot here, and I'll say it goes like this. Okay, now assume it goes right through that point there. Then, if I said, what's f of 2? What did I just tell you, x or y? That's where the x goes. Yep, so I just told you x is 2. You get that? That should be an x in there. So I just told you x is 2. What do I want to know then? I want to know y. What's the y at where x is 2? I just follow up here. There it is. It's 3. Raise your hand if you got that. Okay, good. Then what if I said it the other way around? What if I said f of x is negative 5? What did I just tell you? That y was negative 5. And so you just follow it across and go, oh yeah, you mean this. So that means x must be negative 4. All right. But what if I said f of x plus 7 is negative 5? So the first question you always ask is what? Is it x or y? Did I tell you x or did I tell you y? I told you y was negative 5. All right, if y is negative 5, then do you get that I could make some point here that something goes with negative 5? What normally goes with negative 5? What x value goes there? Negative 4. Do you know the equation you should write now then? Okay. Do you get, it's all about what's in right in there? So what really happens then is that x plus 7 should really be negative 4. So you say x plus 7 equals negative 4. So then what's x have to be? Subtract 7, x equals negative 11. Does that mean I actually go to negative 11 over here? No. It's saying that they didn't tell me what x is. X is just a placeholder. It could have been an n or an m or a q. It doesn't matter. X is not necessarily a variable that's graphed. So anyway, if they had said f of q plus 3 equals, let me go back to my picture again, f of q plus 3 is equal to 3, figure out what q is. First step. Did I tell you x? Did I tell you y? Told you y. Y is what? Okay, if y is 3, you find it, you go, there it is. Now what do you know is the x that should be going with it? So what's right there, what should be there is a 2. So now you should just have been able to say q plus 3 has to equal 2. And then subtract 3. Q must be -1. Raise your hand if you had that one right. Okay, good. I know, those are tough, but that's why I'm covering it for you again. All right, next topic. That was a transformation, like a move left, right, up, down, that kind of thing. So let's talk about those. Let's say I had y equals negative f of x plus 3 minus 6. What does that negative on the outside do? Up, down, or left, right? Up, down. Therefore, it's a reflection up, down, which is over which axis? If you're going up, down, which axis are you going over? So that is a reflection over the x-axis. I would not try to just memorize that. I would walk through the steps. I would say it's on the outside, so it's an up-down thing. Because that way you're also reminding yourself about this. That's on the outside, so it's an up-down thing. So what is it? Down 6. And the last one's in here, and the stuff in there is always counterintuitive. Seems like it's to the right 3, so it's really left 3. Make sense? All right. So now let's talk about the most recent stuff. The stuff that gave you the most trouble was problems like this. So many of these wrong. It was frightening. Figure that one out. This one was marked wrong so many times that I'm going to start putting it on the top 20 sheet. I've decided that I'm going to make a whole section on just evaluating the quadratic formula. Because you know, the ones on the top 20 sheet were always like this. Like that. The 50 part was already done for you. But that's where everybody makes the mistake. So that's really dumb for me to like do all of that work. I should make people do this part of it. All right. Getting different answers again, so I'm nervous about all right, all it's showing me, I guess, is that it is good that we're talking about it, because I've got 3 different answers coming up. One is more common than the others. Okay, here's what I would have expected. Start on the inside. Be very careful in here, because I've warned you that this is going to be important. Do you get how there's 2 negatives? What's that make? Makes it positive. That's really a plus in there. You're adding 25 plus something. And then this part's pretty easy. 4 times 2 is 8. So 25 plus 8, 33. So if you said negative 5 plus or minus the square root of 33 all over negative 4, you were correct. Raise your hand if you had that one right. All right, good. Now, let's go to the last kind. What happens if they just give you this? What do you do? You're supposed to solve that. Your first step, what's your first step to do? Come on, somebody help me. Make it equal to 0, you are correct. I'm going to bring these guys both over to this side. X squared minus 2x minus 1. Now, can you factor? Is that an okay way to solve these? Yeah. In this case, can anybody figure out how to factor it? Ooh, you've got it. So you didn't even need to do the quadratic formula, did you? All right, awesome. What does it factor to? Mr. P? Oh, okay. All right, thought it worked, but then double-checked it and it didn't work? Okay. All right, so if it won't factor, then I've got to go to quadratic formula. So if I go to quadratic formula, it's x equals negative b, which is 2. plus or minus the square root of b squared, which is 4, minus 4ac, and the a and the c are in here. A is 1, c is negative 1, all over 2a. 2 times 1 is 2. And if people mess up, it's usually underneath the square root. All right. Is that 4 minus 4 is 0? It seems really tempting to do that. But it's not, is it? Because there's 2 negatives. So it's really 4 plus the 4. So that makes it 8. So then it's x equals 2 plus or minus root 8 all over 2. Root 8 can be simplified. That's really root 4 and root 2. So that's really 2 root 2. So then the 2's, one goes in here, here, and here. And some people, unfortunately, think when you cancel it, it just disappears. So they think the answer is plus and minus root 2. That is wrong. When 2 goes into each of them, 2 goes in here once, and once, and once. Now, granted, the over 1 you don't need, but you do need a 1 in front. 1 plus or minus root 2. And again, this part is kind of dumb. Don't do that. It makes it look like you don't realize you can simplify that. There you go. Okay, that covers just a little bit of everything, and I wanted to leave you about a half an hour, and I've close, and left you like 25 minutes of work time. So I'll give you more review on Tuesday when we meet again, but for today, that's all I have for you.